Welcome, everybody, and good evening. Welcome to the BEL podcast. I'm joined today by my friend Toci Reacts, who's a fantastic friend of mine, another YouTube reactor. And I clicked the wrong button here, so now he's on the screen. And a indie musician. So, welcome, my friend. Thank you for being here. Why don't you introduce yourself to the people who may not know you?
Yeah, I'm so my name's Toci. React to music as well. I like to when reacting, I like to react to it from like a standpoint of just what I'm hearing, right? Break it down a little bit, talk about instrumentals, vocals, whatever. It's just whatever captures us. So it's more like analytical stuff. And yeah, make my own music as well. And just had my first son 8 months ago, like first
Hey,
kid. So
congratulations,
yeah,
my
so
friend.
thank you. So that whole journey and yeah, just vibing in life. Yeah.
Awesome, man. So, okay, so you gave us a little bit of a breakdown of the styles of reactions you do. What kind of music do you do?
That's yeah. So I'll try to I'll be short with this. So growing up, my mom listened to a lot of Christian music and country music, right? So I feel like that definitely molded a little bit of what I like to lean more towards the folky singer-songwriter type stuff. Like I don't know if you know like bands like Need to Breathe,
Mm-hmm.
artists like Chance Pena, a little bit of the Lumineers as well, Noah Kahan and stuff like that. But also like to dip my toes in some metalcore here and there as well. It's a lot of fun.
Nice. So, do you actually like write and record in metalcore as well? Oh shit,
Yeah,
I
so
didn't know
well,
that.
the metalcore stuff is I won't lie, like I paid for the instrumentals, but like the vocals and the production, that's all me, the writing. I've only done 3 of them because I find without, and this is me personally, without actual like people to talk about how you want things to go, it's hard to write a catchy anything. Because my favorite things in metal music is this might be generic, but it's when like the drums follow the top line melody, maybe like for little stuff like that you just can't really do too much with pre-made beats from YouTube.
Of
But
course.
yeah, I love it though. I learned to do like screams and stuff specifically for those songs. It was a lot of fun.
Oh, crazy, man. Good for you. That's one venture of music that I've never gone down is like I never learned how to scream. I've learned enough about it where like I could coach it or I could tell like if someone's not doing it correctly, but I haven't spent the
Mhm.
time with my voice to like actually get it to do that. Um,
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
it's tough. It's tricky. You could really mess yourself up. For me too, like when I say learn, I don't mean like I'm out here. It's definitely like depends on the day. If I'm warmed up enough, I can't just. It's not muscle memory yet. I have to
Mm,
really get in the zone to do it.
gotcha. I gotcha.
Mm.
So you said your mom listened to Christian music and country. Was she like a big like an inspiration when it came to your musical style or your introduction to music?
I'd say so from like young. My thing with music is like I never really thought to make it until I was like 17, 18. But growing up, there was a lot of music around, and I always have just been fascinated with melodies. Like I didn't care what the genre was, what else was going on. A good vocal melody, there might be like a nice like little guitar in the background, some kind of like melody. It just hooked my ear, and then I would just play the crap out of the song, listening to it. And so I find that with Christian music, everybody's different on it, but like Christian music for me, um, they got some of the coolest chords, honestly. Like you hear a Christian song that, oh, those are like Christian chords. Like they actually have like literal Christian chords, right? And they just make for some of the like most catchy melodies. And so I'd listen to them a lot. And my mom came in with this the Outsiders album from Need to Breathe. And she put it in the radio whenever we'd go to like Target or something. And there'd be songs on there like that dude's voice mixed with their melodies. It just hooked me. And so yeah, I kind of just grew up listening to songs more so for the melody than anything. And it wasn't until I started reacting is when I started like actually listen, like what is going on here? Why do I like it? Why is this catching my ear? Oh, it's because this, whatever, and lyrics as well. Just like really diving in there, to be honest. I don't know if I answered that good. Did I answer that
Yeah,
okay?
100%, man, 100%.
Okay.
It's interesting. So the first band that I toured with, they were originally a Christian band, and then they kind of just went like hard rock, I guess, because like lots of
Hmm.
Christian rock is like pretty heavy as it is.
Skillet. Yeah,
Yeah,
you hear Skillet? Oh yeah,
yeah. We did a show with Skillet actually. So,
that's fire.
but the guitar player, like he was my manager when I worked at the guitar store for a while. And we always laughed because he would play, like, if you said a C chord, his just like gut
Mhm.
reaction was the weirdest shape for a C chord, but it sounded so much cooler than when anyone else played like C,
Just like
right?
a regular C, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like we always made fun of him. We're like, oh, here comes Kevin with all those wicked chords that no one knows how to play, right? But that's the thing. It was like the Christian charting thing, right? It's so interesting.
Yeah, they got some cool chords, so unique. And honestly, that's just music in general, right? It's like that's for me sometimes how I'll even write a song is I'll hear a chord or a chord progression or like a movement that like does something to me and I'm like, "Oh, dude." And I'll play around with it and then just make a song out of it. Just hearing like I like one of my favorite songs that I've produced and made myself is called Open My Eyes. Simple. It's an E major to F sharp to A major. Like that's pretty much
Sweet.
the transition, but I don't know, something about it at the time was like I played that progression and I was like, "Oh, this is like it makes you feel something, right?" And so I just tracked it and it all came just from that movement. I don't know. That's the thing is melodies and certain sound they just catch my ear if that makes sense.
Totally. Do you find like something will get stuck in your head and then you're like, I have to figure this out, and then it comes that way, or do you look for it when you're trying to write something?
Dude, I'll tell you what, that's a good question. So like I'm a big and a lot of artists are too. I mean, you probably just you record little stuff on your phone and you just hold on to it and then you come back to it like little memos or whatever, little voice memos. And so like I'll have like especially recently with having the baby, it's like I'll have 20 minutes in a day where I can pick up the guitar and mess around. So I'll do like little like random stuff and put it away. And then like when I am alone again, or if I'm editing or something, maybe I'll play them back, listen. And when I hear something I like, I'm like, okay, the next time I have time to sit down, I'm gonna go back to this and see what I pull from it. And so like I'm working with chords that are really in my head right now is like an F major seven. Um, this I don't know why I'm explaining. I'm sorry, but like a F
Let it
major
go. Let it
seven,
go.
and like you hammer on. I don't know. I guess it'd be whatever your middle finger's doing. I don't know the notes right, but you hammer on, play around, then you go to G over C and another hammer on, and just kind of going back and forth. And like that's how I'll do my writing process. Is I'll find little things like that. I really love the way that it sounds right now. If I had my guitar plugged in, I'd should I? No, that's too. Is that extra
Go
plugged in
for
the
it, man.
guitar?
Go for it.
Word. I'm sorry. Okay, hold on. So essentially, it's like little melodies and stuff that I look for or that I hear, and it's like kind of what sparks the inspiration. So, for example, something that I'm kind of like messing around with, something that just caught my ear would be something as simple as like an F major 7 chord, but you do like little melodies in between. So, like something like it's just little stuff like those hammer-ons that like catches my ear and I feel something from them, whether it's a melancholy feeling, a happy feeling, a sad feeling, whatever kind of feeling, and I kind of cling to it. And what does it make me feel? And what do I think of when I feel this way? And that's kind of like what I'll write about. Oftentimes I'll be messing around and a line will just pop into my head and I'll just kind of build the song off of that one line or that one melody over this. So it's just a lot of like messing around and seeing kind of what I hear, what I feel. And yeah, very rarely do I attack a song and I already have like lyrics ahead of time. I normally wait and see what the song makes me feel first, and then I write to it, if that makes sense. So yeah, the F major 7, when you hammer on, it's the little hammer-ons, is that little thing I was talking about earlier. Those little things, the ear candy melodies or whatever that catch my ear. That really caught my ear. So what I'll do is like I'll track it and just kind of loop it and just see what comes out of it. That's normally how it goes.
Gotcha. Sorry for the camera jumps here, y'all. I'm changing like the scene, so it's like full you and then split us, and it keeps jumping past the split us to just me. And I'm like, But no, that's
working
cool,
out them
man.
eyes.
I find it fascinating to hear people's approaches or like habits when it comes to
Mm,
songwriting. So I again, like I've never um practiced songwriting enough to be like I'm a songwriter, but I'm really good at pulling like say a singer out of so like what I'll find like if I'm recording an artist or if I'm helping like produce a song is sometimes they get so close to the project that they can't let go of what they're in, and sometimes what they're in is awkward, like maybe it's a word or
mm,
maybe it's how the melody ties up or the cadence at the end or something, and I'm really good at pulling them out of that and trying to find something else that'll work. Like I'll never tell you you're wrong. I'll say, hey, what if you
yeah.
tried this, right?
Okay.
um, but that's just been my focus versus like actual songwriting, right? So I find it
Mm.
fascinating that step that I don't spend a lot of time in, where it's like, okay, this is how I birthed this song child,
Yeah,
you know?
that's fire.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
Versus like I
it's
say, yeah,
yeah, it's like yeah, I guess the best way to if I were to summarize the way that I write songs, it's like hearing playing around, hearing something, it's almost like you flip a switch in my brain and I'm like, "Oh, that I felt something right there." And then just see where it goes. So it's like I'll hone in on that. And John Mayer, I was watching an interview with him, and he said something along the lines of like, "You're never gonna really get anywhere if you're going around looking for something. You just gotta go in and do it." And he like just played like a song just right there. So you find something, and if you do and you feel something from it, just go and see what comes of it. Because even if it's like makes no sense, just see if you can't find something and expand upon it to essentially like create that song baby, as you said. It's like the foreplay
mm,
essentially for
gotcha.
making a song baby. Yeah.
Gotcha. I gotcha. Yeah. People can shit on John Mayer all they want, and Lord knows I do too. But the dude is talented, man. Like, not only is he a crazy gifted guitar player, but like he's a really good songwriter too, right?
Yeah, I mean, love or hate him. That's my thing too, is like people get so like caught up on, within reason, people get so caught up on certain things. And it's like at the end of the day, you gotta kind of step back and think, okay, let's listen to what the music is
Yeah.
and just separate it within reason, of course.
Of course. Of course. No, that's interesting. So you said you started finding an interest in writing music when you were like 17, 18.
Mhm.
So when did you write your first song? When did you record your first song? How was that experience?
Oh, I kind of feel like a fraud. So what I did was I was just in my room. Me and my she was my girlfriend at the time, shared a room. And I was one of those late night demons, so I'd stay up till like 5 in the morning. Well, she was sleeping and I was by myself watching YouTube, and I came across a video of somebody like making a song. And this is like the first time I've ever even like went into that world. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. Cause I seen him it was like it was like he was just kind of like making song with like free plugins, free everything, just to see if it could work, right? I was like, okay, so I just entertained it. I downloaded I don't even know what the DAW was. I think it was like AC8 or some kind of DAW. It might
Sure.
have been a Adobe Audition actually. Now I'm thinking about it. And I stole, I downloaded, I didn't steal, I downloaded a lo-fi beat from YouTube and literally just said the word hello over it like 20 times and it just put like 80 plugins on it and it sounded horrible, but it was fun because it's like, when you're in art class as a kid and they're like, okay, paint this. You don't care how it looks. You just have fun painting it at the time. You're not trying to make a Picasso. You're just painting. See, do you like it? Do you not like it? And I had a little bit of fun doing it. And I noticed the more I did that, the more comfortable I got. And I was able to actually use my voice more. And it just kind of went on as it went. So,
Gotcha.
yeah.
So you started off like messing around with things, some like sampled beats, like maybe a word at a time, and then that developed into full songs as you got older, I'm assuming.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. At first, I thought, well, there was multiple factors. Is like one, my wife was, or at the time, girlfriend. She's my wife now. My wife was sleeping 2 feet in front of me, so I couldn't be too, because I'd wake her up.
Yeah.
But then like as I got more into it, I was willing because at the time I was super into Apex Legends, the game. So the more I liked the songwriting stuff, I was giving it more of my free time. I was like, okay, why not go mess around with this instead of play the game? and it would be when she was at work or whatever. And so I slowly got more comfortable with like hearing myself. That was my biggest problem, was like hearing my own voice. It made me cringe, because especially when you're trying, you know what I mean? Like if you're just saying hello, it's whatever. But when you're actually like writing words out and saying them and singing them or attempting to sing them, it's like you get antsy. But yeah, over time, I think I stopped taking it so like serious and like worried about what people, is it gonna be bad. Instead, I encourage it. If you don't like it, tell me. What don't you like about it? What sounds off? Whereas then I was scared of hearing that. So I guess
Totally.
I just got more comfortable.
Oh, I like that. It's funny you say like the first time hearing yourself and how weird of an experience that is. And
Yeah.
it's like when you sing in the shower, like, yeah, you can hear yourself, but like when you have headphones on and it's isolated and it's a microphone, you can hear the friggin' saliva in your mouth. Like it's the
Yep.
strangest thing. And
Yep.
folks literally go green their first time in the studio. It's so funny to see. And like it takes forever, man. You got to find a lot of creative ways to make someone feel comfortable enough to be vulnerable enough to give you a good vocal performance, right? Or a drum performance or anything. Like
Yeah.
it's
Anything.
pretty funny to like reflect on though.
Yeah. 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 I wish I still had those songs. They were on my old computer.
Ah,
I don't have them no
shit.
more. Yeah,
Shit.
it would have been cool to look back at.
Yeah.
It would have been really cool.
So then like was it just practice and rehearsal and doing it over and over and over again? Like how have you gotten yourself to a point where now you released an EP earlier this year, right?
Yeah, yeah, I released the album called Root. So I've been playing guitar since I was like 15, 16. So like and like I said, I really love the melodies. So I kind of going into it, I already had a sense of like rhythm and stuff like that. So it wasn't necessarily the song building. It was more of I didn't know how to sing. I didn't know anybody who could sing, so like I couldn't write for him or whatever. So like I'd say it was the singing part that really kind of held me back. But as I so as far as rehearsal and stuff, what I would do is we had this little shed outside of our house at the time, and I would go in there and I would just sing to myself and like listen back. My big like what I would do really is Brendan Urie from Panic at the Disco. I would play his like acoustic stuff, and I would just try to match his voice, which isn't, I mean, it's not the worst thing, but it's also not a good thing. So you want to find your own voice, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I would try to match his voice, and then how is he like, how is he going up like that and not completely blowing his voice out? Like this doesn't make sense because I thought to go up, you have to get loud, but that's not necessarily the case and stuff. So there's a lot, yeah, it's like behind the scenes, I guess mimicking, I guess is the best way to put it, like his voice. And as I got more comfortable with it, I'd notice I'd start going to like karaoke. Granted, I'd be very drunk, but I would still karaoke, and stuff like that. So that was kind of the journey to get there.
Bro, it's so funny. Like karaoke is a staple for the bedroom musician. Like you got to go and flex every once in a while. You know what I mean?
Everyone,
Drunk or
yeah,
not, you
man.
got to go let it out on a stage somewhere, right?
Yeah, not gonna lie, not gonna lie. For me, it's "My Way" by Frank Sinatra. That's like my go-to.
Yeah.
That and
Okay.
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, good for you,
Those are
man.
my go-tos.
I never touched the Queen songs. Well, that's a lie. I did sing Bohemian Rhapsody once at a karaoke fundraiser. So someone's like, "I'm gonna give $10, but you're gonna sing the song," and I was like, "Fuck."
How you think you did? 1 through 10.
There's a video of it, and the guy that like was singing it with me was way drunker than I was. So I'll give myself like a
Oh.
solid 8 in comparison to like quality of the song, like the actual matching to like the Freddie Mercury. Definitely not an 8, but for the night we'll call it an 8.
Right.
Yeah.
To compare, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
It's like when you got like Jason's following you, you don't got to run fast, just faster than your friend.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't got to be good, just be less drunk than your friend.
Exactly. Yeah.
There you go.
So what was the inspiration behind Roots? Like how did that come together?
That's a good. So I have like what, two? I think two, no, three. I have 3 albums out, and my albums for some reason always start the same. And this might just be a normal thing, but it started with like I wrote a song or two and I haven't released them yet, but they kind of coincide. Like they kind of not tell the same story, but they're on theme with each other. So I'm like, okay, well, I already have two songs that kind of match this theme. So what can I do with them? Do I just drop them out as like singles, or should I maybe try and work on an album? I'm a big advocate on like I love albums. I'm more of like if all my artists would just drop albums instead of like just hyping up singles throughout the entire like summer or whatever, I would always prefer albums. I just love big bodies of work, that take time and you put your heart into it, soul and stuff. So like that's what I'm gonna do. And the songs that I wrote, they tended to like follow the same theme of like just growing up and things changing, right? And I kind of took roots as like, okay, well, at the time I think I was like what I was like 23, 24 when it first started being written. I was like really looking back, and I was where have I been? Where am I now? Where am I going? Kind of thing. And I noticed my favorite music has always been that acoustic, folk, ambient folk, stuff like that. Um, so I wanted the entire album to kind of mimic my journey from when I was younger to now, both sonically and story wise. So I called it roots, as in I'm going back to my roots essentially, right? So it's just all for the most part it's acoustic. There are some VST instruments in there, like a violin, because I don't have a violin, but acoustic instruments.
Mm-hmm.
And the story is just what I was feeling at certain stages of my life. And it was like it released right before my son was born too, so it was like there's a song in there that's kind of about that too. So I thought it was a good time to, because I was pretty much wrapping up my life before having a kid, because when you have a kid, a lot of stuff changes.
I bet.
So it was
I
like
totally
kind of
bet.
my nod to everything before the son.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting? Like, I'm gonna steer this in a weird direction here, but
You're good.
so my fiance and I, my wife and I, we live on an acreage, and we do lots of
Mm,
gardening, like lots and lots of gardening, and my appreciation for plants has never been higher, right? So
yeah.
you plant a whole shit ton of like vegetables or whatever, right? And when
Mm,
you pull them out at the end of the year, the roots actually till your soil and make them richer for the next year's crop.
mm,
So it really gave me this perspective of like, I shouldn't feel ashamed of what may have been my roots because they allowed what I have today to grow.
mm.
See what I'm saying?
Oh,
And so
oh, write that down, bro.
yeah, yeah. So
Write that
like,
down.
and then to me now, it's like the more I grow, while not trying to overcrowd things, of course, my farm friends, but like the more I grow, the better everything is the year after and the year after and the year after. So it's like now you're almost planting roots for future roots, which I think is like a bar and a half, but like kind of
Whoa.
wicked, right?
Whoa, that's crazy. Write that down, bro.
Yeah.
Damn, that's
You
crazy.
take that. You can have
That's
it.
crazy.
You can have it.
Right, that's what I'm gonna tell people from now on. Why did you make that and call it roosters? Because of that.
Because tomatoes
Honestly,
grow better. No.
right. If you think about it, you got
Yeah.
to take them through a whole science, pull up a PowerPoint, YouTube video, or whatever.
Yeah. No, man.
Proof.
So that's cool. I appreciate you sharing that. And the introduction of your son, right? I
Hmm.
want to make sure I'm not speaking out of turn here. So how, like, what has that done for your inspiration? Or like, I know that it's probably eaten up a whole bunch of your time, but like, has it changed maybe like your emotional output when it comes to music? Like, what's going on?
Oh, dude. So like, listen, I love my wife with like to death, right, with all my heart. But when I had him, or when we had him, sorry, um, I realized, wow, there is like I have a lot in the palm of my hand right now, right? Because I also, she's a stay-at-home mom, so like I do, I provide everything I can or whatever. I have a lot in my hand, so like a lot of responsibility, and I feel like that made me take certain things a lot more seriously, like income, bills, stuff like that, which I was already, careful of, but like now it's like I'm about to take care of this little dude who literally can't even wipe his own ass. You know what I mean? So it's like I gotta lock in here. Um, and actually, I have one song that I put out since he was born, and it's literally a song of like me just kind of taking accountability, which is another thing that really woke up inside of me of like my dad wasn't around too much when I was a kid, and so whenever like things happen in my life, my go-to is just to go into my room and play the game. So say I'm not doing good in school, say I'm not feeling good that day, or say something happened. Instead of like really looking at myself, I would just hide it and I just play the game. And that was like up until late teenage years even. So just having him, yeah, just opened up my eyes a lot and changed, yeah. More serious, I guess,
Yeah,
is what I would say. Yeah.
that's cool. That's cool. Does it like to like your body to your expression? Does it feel different, or is it just like the messaging behind it is different?
With what? With the
With creation now, like with
oh,
inspiration and
okay.
putting something together.
Yeah, I definitely noticed I turned into one of those people that talks about their newborn too much to where it's like, bro, there's other babies in the world. I will say that. Like, you could go through my channel and probably cherry pick out reactions where I somehow, some way bring him up. Um, but like, yeah, I guess with feeling, there is this sense of like, hey, when I am gone, these are gonna whatever I have made or created is gonna be left, and that's all he's gonna have. You know, you get where I'm going with that, right? It's
Yep.
like so I kind of keep that in mind. You know, it's like, hey, you know, how would he feel hearing this in 30 years, 40 years, or whatever? Um, and yeah, but as far as like what it is that I make or create or whatever, it's still the same because it's just me. You know,
Yeah.
just me.
So do you? I don't know if you struggle with this or not. I'll let you decide. But like, do you battle the perfection monster? And having a kid or does having a wife like make that easier or harder? Do you find
Perfect, as in like
like this song
music
has to
needs
be
to be
fucking
perfect.
perfect, otherwise like it's
Mm,
not going out. It's not going to see the light of day. Because I want to start this with like what cued it in my head was I want to applaud you for putting out music and even being able to face something like, hey, like I'm taking responsibility for this child and I'm going to talk about this in a song I'm going to release. Because like the amount of music created, the amount of art created, the amount of art actually published is way, way, way different. And there's
oh
still
yeah,
like hundreds of thousands of songs just then uploaded to Spotify every single day. And that's still just a tiny fraction of how much creation is actually happening, right?
yeah,
So,
and it
A,
just stays in the folders.
yeah. So I'm curious, like,
Yeah.
is like for you, do you battle with like, is it perfectionism? Is it like, I just want this song to feel right and then it's going to go out? Like,
Yeah, I'd say perfection is something that everybody strives for with music, but I understand that you can't over analyze or over criticize it. I feel like you'll know when it's ready, um, regardless if it's perfect or not. My biggest issue would be just kind of what we were talking about earlier. I don't know if it was before we started recording, but that like I don't know if I'm going to be able to make this where I want it to go.
mm,
So if I want this big sound, I don't know how I'm going to achieve that. You know, like I think my guitars are going to be too flat sonically. Like it's just not going to so my biggest problem is not believing in the fact that if I just go and I just push through it and keep trying to make this song, eventually it'll get there. Um, but I don't seek perfection out honestly. And you know what? With the type of music that I make and that I normally mainly listen to, it isn't really about perfection. Like Bon Iver, right? Their older stuff, like For Emma and like that album. It's just even that like soulful like country folk. I'm not talking stadium country. I'm talking like, you know, like folk, like Elliott Smith, if you know Elliott Smith.
yeah, oh, yeah.
Like it's not necessarily about perfection. It's more about what do you feel from it. They purposefully will leave a buzz note in there. So you flub up a guitar, they'll leave it because it's like this is humanity. This I'm a human, you know, and that's kind of the feeling I want and try to portray. Um, through my music. So I really don't, obviously I don't want it to go up there and guitars all out of tune and you know what I mean, but it doesn't need to be like perfect, you know. And actually that reminds me, I one of the videos I watched of yours was you talking about autotune and about like the you know post production, just stuff with autotune and how it's kind of become a lot more than what it was like 20 years ago, whatever. And I couldn't have agreed with you more. In fact, I think my biggest pet peeve in music right now is how much autotune is relied upon. And I'm not talking about like your bubblegum pop, right? Because like, that's meant to sound like that. But like, I'm not gonna say the song or the artist because I don't want to cook nobody. But I heard like a piano ballad, which in my eyes, when you hear a piano ballad, it's sad, minor key. They're like telling their soul. You're supposed to feel something, right? This was auto tuned to the point where it sounded straight up AI, but I know it wasn't because I know the artist. But to where I almost like I don't believe you, what you're saying, because it's like I can literally hear the pitch shifter, auto tune bump you up, and it's like you don't even need the auto tune, but it's just because that's what's expected nowadays.
Yep.
So that's just like that's what I'm so anti that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
I got you. But then like
Yeah.
I believe in getting a good take. Like I hate quantized drums. I like a good drummer playing drums. You know what I mean?
Mm,
And if
mm.
like if you got a good take, like say a drummer plays a verse and everything was just bang on, but one kick was like a fraction of a like beat behind, then just like fix it. But like
Just a little bump.
I
Yeah.
hate when it's like just play a drum machine or just program drums if you're just gonna quantize
At
everything.
that
Like
point.
it
At that
drives me
point.
insane,
Yeah.
bro. And that to me is the auto tune of instruments, right? Um, Same with guitar playing. Like when you tune your guitar, like say you tune it to 440 or 435, whatever, and you hit it, it's going to be sharp and then it's going to be flat and then it's going to fall to where it should be. And
Mm,
that's a part of the nature of the instrument. Like it's a vibrating string and you're changing how long that string is to get different notes out of it. Like it's not going to be
mm,
consistent all the time.
mm.
So when you hear something that's just like basically auto-tuned guitar, it's just like it just drives me nuts.
It loses what it is.
Totally.
It becomes more of a synthetic thing
Yep.
than what it is. And dude, I have this. I'm sorry, I just got so excited right there.
That's
I
okay.
have I have this saying in my channel. I've been saying this for so long. Um, Nobody asks this, but I say, listen, the reason why I love an acoustic guitar so much is because 100 years from now, an acoustic guitar is still going to sound like an acoustic guitar.
Yep.
It's not going to change. I could sit here and I could play you a little progression, no bullshit, nothing, just right in front of the mic. We record it, time capsule it. 100 years from now, it's going to be the same thing. Can't be outdated
Yep.
because an acoustic guitar is just that. Like you can't. Whereas like you hear like a fully synthetic song from like 15 years ago, you can hear the degradation. Like you
Yep.
can hear, oh, dude, our computers got so much better since then. You know, and like
100%.
the thought of that, like I'll make a song that has that, and then in 20 years it's gonna sound versus I'm gonna make a song with an acoustic guitar, whatever, and 30 years from now my son will hear it and still think, oh, this sounds just like I remember my dad, whatever. When I say 30 years, I hope I'm still alive in 30 years, but you get the point. You get the point.
I
You
follow.
get
I
the point.
follow. Yeah, and it's interesting because like the more I get into production and producing and stuff, the more I'm realizing that the music that I naturally gravitate to has real instruments and is usually, I don't want to sound like I'm talking too much shit, but it's usually like recorded extremely well. So what you'll
Mm,
see is like there is methodology and everyone has their own kind of take on it, but there is like a science behind recording drums, like acoustic drums, right? And some folks will just put mics out, record what they can, and then go into the computer and digitally align it. And I find that
mm,
has a sound, like not even quantizing, like I'm talking phase cohesion, right? Like where the
yeah.
waveforms all line up and everything. Whereas when you
Mm,
get some of these like super pros out there, it's like no, like they measure every microphone and every mic placement is tested. And someone walked through the room with headphones and an extension, and they just had the drummer playing, and they walked around with a microphone in their hands. So they were like, "Oh, there's a sweet spot," and just put the mic down. Like it just seems that. And I'm also trying not to like say that I listen to the best music on earth because that's definitely not true. But the
not
music
you.
that I do find that I'm gravitating to when I look into like the weeds and I dig around a little bit, it's like, oh, this was recorded by so and so who's known for like having extreme dedication to the process of it. And I
Mm.
can't help but appreciate that.
Oh yeah. I mean, obviously inherently, the more time you put into something, it should sound better. You know what I mean? Like if you're taking the time to fine tune every little thing, in theory, it should be better. And I think with the acoustic sounds of drums, guitars, this or that or the other, when you're just kind of like really fine, like I mean, look at it with like if I were to record something in here, if I want something to sound far away, roomy, I'm gonna go back. Versus if I want something closer, warmer, I'm gonna get closer. And like taking that extra time to, okay, let me get a take where I push my microphone back and I step back. You notice stuff like that versus if I were to just play it here and just throw like a room reverb on it. You know what I mean? You can kind of hear it in there of like, oh, this actually has that sound of like I'm sitting in the room with him while he's playing it, because that you literally hear what's going on in the room. You know?
Yeah, totally. Well, and we're getting into the nitty gritty of this, but when you think about a drum or even a guitar for that matter, like an acoustic guitar, you will never put your ear this close to a snare drum and be like, "Oh yeah, that sounds great."
Oh, dude.
But then we think that it's smart to put a microphone this close to the snare drum and be like, "Now it's a snare drum." But if you listen to a close mic of a snare drum, it sounds like shit. Like you need the overheads and the room mics, and then now they need to be cohesive with each other. And because, like, minimum, aside from the drummer playing the drums, like you're 10, 15 feet away from a drum. So, like, that's the sound you want to give back to the listener, not some close microphone that's this far away, because you would never hear a drum that close, right?
Yeah, like in the reality of it. You go to a concert, they're not like, all right, next person can come up here and put your ear on my drum. Like,
Yeah,
they're used to hearing it from a distance, regardless.
exactly.
And also, I just think it sound. I mean, this is subjective, but I just think it sounds a little bit better when there is that like uh legitimacy to it. Like it's a legitimate room sound you're hearing.
Totally.
You know, I don't know. It just gives it more, not authenticity, but like, I don't know. I don't know the correct word, but
It's
you
got a
get me.
vibe to it.
Yeah, it's got a vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that. So do you listen to your own music?
Do. The only time I'll say I do is like if I'm in the middle of making it. Maybe if I'm going to Walmart, I'll throw it on, see how it sounds in the car,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But after the fact, like it's very rare. Like if like there might be a time when I'm like, maybe I'm trying to go for a certain sound I did before, but like mess with it. Maybe I'll play it a little bit, hear what I did, try to put myself back in that where I was. I actually do this thing. Sorry, this is kind of siding your question, but like I do this thing where I'll every time I make a new song, I tend to I have a bass little vocal preset, but I always tweak it depending on the song. But every time I'm done with the song, I save the preset. I save everything I did. So if I ever want to come back to that, I just put that preset in and mess with it, and I kind of get that vibe. But yeah, no, never, not too much. No.
No, I got you. It's funny, like some folks, and I get both sides of this. Like maybe there's an ego thing in some people, but like, not in my experience. Some folks are like, man, when I put out a record, they're like, it's all I can listen to. They're like, because I wrote music that I love. You know what I
Mm,
mean? So it's like it's not
that's
so much
fair.
that they're listening to themselves. They're like, but like I wrote the best damn thing I thought I could, and if that's what I thought was great or competitive or whatever, like it's probably music I like. So they're like, I end up listening to it. And then other people are
Yeah.
like, man, like I don't give mixed feedback. I don't critique it. It's like I record my parts and I move on, and it's gone to the wind. You know what I mean?
For me, yeah, for me, honestly, for me, which I do believe in. You know, if you put the time and effort in, it's probably a song you like, right? But I just because I do all like I this isn't to anybody, but I'm saying I do all my like I record everything, mix everything, produce everything. I hear it so much. Like I'm back, like I'll hear the one line you heard in 2 seconds. I probably listened to it like 10 minutes worth, in
Mm-hmm.
that one sitting. I'm like, dude, I'm over it at this point. I've lived it. I'm give it out to other people now.
Yeah.
I just heard it so much.
But, you're making a really interesting like point or like a general thought when it comes to the modern state of music, right? Because like in the 80s, you had to know a guy who knew a guy who had a wicked studio, and you had to save all your money, and you had to band together with your group, and you had to record everything, and it was tedious, and it was to tape and all this. But like today, you can just own a couple VST instruments, a guitar, a microphone, and let her buck.
It's so easy.
Some
Yeah.
people don't even have the microphone or a keyboard. They just like program everything, and they give, sure, it's like, kind of going against the grain of what we're saying, but like some folks will, like, they pour their hearts and souls into making beats or like composing like string sections, and it's beautiful. it, it's
Mm-hmm.
a really cool
Yeah.
time we live in when it comes to
Yeah.
art
Super quick
creation in
and
general.
easy. Oh yeah, I'll do. My favorite thing to do on the live streams is like we'll get like people who make their own stuff, and they'll be like, "Hey, do you listen to like our own music?" I'm like, "Of course," because like it's honestly one, it's nice to be able to put other people out there, and two, it's also like you can kind of get to. It's cool to see how did you record, like what was your like what do you use, what do you do that, and I had a dude told me. I use my iPhone and my AirPods or whatever, and like I made this whole thing. I'm like, that's crazy. It's crazy how talented people are with like the limited resources, but like the limited resources are damn good. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like
Oh
that
yeah.
video I watched years ago of like making a song with only free plugins and only free this, and it you can do it. You
Yeah.
really can.
Oh, bro, like the a buddy of mine, we use the same DAW. We use Cubase 13 now, and
Mm,
he has like all the UA plugins. I have all the SSL plugins, and the both of us use like one or two of these like paid plugins, and the rest of them are just stock. Like it's just different, like varying amounts of either like compression or expansion or gate, EQ and harmonic saturation, and like you
mm.
could do that from like anything.
A lot of
You know what I
stuff.
mean? Like,
A lot of stuff. I
yeah,
mean, like my favorite, my favorite plugin is a paid plugin, but the whole Fab Filter like bundle is just like what probably the majority of my mixes I'm using. But like I don't think I'm ever gonna buy another compressor because Pro C is just it's so good because I even use it for side chaining.
hmm,
You know, like it's just got so much in it to where it's like you don't like do you know how many there's like thousands of compressors out there, but like if you just what sounds good to you, you know what I mean? It doesn't matter. It
yeah,
doesn't matter. Like the waves, they got what is it? A 76, I think. I think they have a CL 76 or something like
yeah.
that. One of those compressors, like the Bluey and the um you go that route, you go this route, that route, you go to whatever route, it doesn't matter. It's just whatever your ear likes. And because there's such a big market out there, free, paid, whatever, you can get by doing either route, honestly.
Well, the best compressor is the compressor you know how to use. It's like the best DAW is the DAW you know how to use. Because,
Yep.
like, if someone came and told me, "Hey, man, Pro Tools is the best," you have to use it. Well, it would take me a year to learn all the ins and outs
Just
of it
to
and
learn
everything.
it.
So, like,
Yeah.
I'll just use Cubase, like I've been using for years, and I'm pretty good at it, and it does everything I need it
Mhm.
to do. So, like, who cares? Or like
Yep.
a buddy of mine in Germany uses Logic. He could do. I swear to God, he does better mixes than I do, and he's like a guitar player, songwriter, but he mixes his own
Yeah.
stuff. And dude's a killer. It's just like great.
Yep.
Know how to use your shit, and then there you go.
It's whatever you're familiar with. Yeah.
Yeah, 100%, man.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
That's right.
So, in the music thing, what can we expect like in the near future? You got any plans? You working on anything right now?
I started my hand in reaching out to some friends who make music and trying to produce for other people because I feel like you can learn a lot from like expanding yourself. Like for your own music, you can learn a lot by like just going outside of your own space. If you're your own producer, you know what I mean, and say like you have a friend who makes music, but they don't really like know the hands-on stuff, like get out there and help some people out, like help with the production. You might learn a thing or two because you're so used to your own voice, right?
Oh,
You're so used
totally.
to your own stuff. So like trying to mix like a female vocal versus my vocal, completely very different.
Yeah.
So I've been kind of messing around with that. But as far as like my own stuff, I got some stuff that I'm working on that'll probably sit there for a couple months before I get out, but nothing like planned right now. Nah, I
Gotcha.
don't have the time.
Yeah. No, and trial by fire is I think a really good learning experience. Like just getting thrown to the wolves and have something new as often as possible. Because like you said, like
Yeah.
once you find like a good sound for your acoustic guitar, aside from a little bit here and there to make it fit the song, it doesn't change that much, or like your vocal or
Mm,
whatever, right?
yeah.
Um, like in live sound, like I like to think that I've had a pretty good career in live audio, and I feel like I do a good job. And the majority of that is like I would mix a different band every weekend of the year. It was always different. And
Yeah.
sometimes you'd get like a repeat band, like one band will give you 5 bookings in the year, but Friday was different, Saturday was different, the next week Friday was different again, Saturday was different again, and it was all kinds of from country to bluegrass to metal to punk to
Woo.
80s rock. Like it was always different, and you had to give the best experiences you could, not only for the musicians but for the crowd.
The
And
people, yeah.
country is like very like snare drum and guitar heavy, whereas rock is very like kick drum and bass heavy. So like,
Yeah.
and you got to find different ways of making everything work, but match and honor the music too, right?
Yeah, that's my next venture, I think, is so I want to start doing some live stuff. Like my actually what's on the horizon, which is hopefully I'm gonna get around to I really want to do is I really want to go out to like a field and do like an acoustic session and record it and have it sound nice. So I think like mixing and mastering, like production live stuff is probably my next thing I'm gonna try my hand at, because the most experience I have is a PA system and an acoustic guitar at a bar. Like that's about it. But like I want
Nice.
to learn how to like really lock it in, and like both sounding good just out to the public, but also recorded. That's probably like my next venture.
Gotcha. It's really cool because like the majority of my career in live was in the analog days where everything was like one for one, everything was inputs, like lots of cabling, lots of snakes, two consoles, all analog. Like all your compression and effects was another box beside the sound mixer. And today in the digital world, you have infinite options. You can have a gate compressor and like multiple EQs and different plugins per channel, up to like 48 channels, or like we were on a
Yeah,
console in Vancouver. It did, I think, like 196 different channels. It's just like, Jesus Christ, like this is unheard of from the world that I came from, but it's the reality of it today. And
yeah.
what's even cooler is with a simple USB cable, you can record into your DAW channel for channel. And as long as nothing's clipping on the board, you get a clean recording that you can do all the editing and everything after the fact. So like it's just incredible how far we've come.
I didn't even think about doing something like. Yeah, I'm probably gonna. I'll probably be texting you here in the next few days with some questions.
Anytime, bro. I love nerding out on this shit. Made a
That's
whole YouTube
crazy.
channel nerding out about this shit, like No, that's awesome, man. And like I said earlier, congrats on the kid, man. Congrats on the music. It's really cool to hear how it all kind of
Thanks,
drives
brother.
one big message, right? I like that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Nah, like you, I got like you. I think I've told you this before, but you were like a huge inspiration on a lot of stuff that I did when it came to recording.
Oh man, I appreciate that.
Um, like microphones. Like you're the reason I have this mic. You're the reason I got the 58. You're the reason why I'm really debating on getting a 57. Just and like your little tidbits here and there. You're the reason I got in-ear monitor.
Hey, yeah.
You're the.
What'd you
I'm
get?
telling
What'd you
you,
get?
these are they're sure still sure I know, but they're sure something.
I
I
think
don't know. I don't know the
425s, two
two
215s,
fif- yeah, SE
215.
215. Yep.
Nice. Yeah.
Yep. I got them. Like you've been a huge inspiration to a lot of why I got things, and mainly it's because the way you kind of describe it, and like it's quick and it's thorough, right? So like I understand why I'd like this microphone. Why it's a why this microphone of all, like one of the most used microphones ever. A bunch of stuff. So like honestly, I owe a lot to you for my mixing and the gear I have and stuff like that.
Oh, I
So
appreciate that,
thank
man.
you.
A
Thank you,
big
man.
thing, a big part of my journey is like I remember looking at these like big, huge concerts and recording studios and shit. Like when I was real young, and just being like, man, this looks like complicated as hell. And then once you learn about it, like channel by channel, sure, maybe it's a 48 or a 62 input console, but it's just the same thing times 48. And
Yep.
once you look at it that way, it's like, oh, it's just once you can like kind of focus in on only an inch of the console, the rest of it makes sense, right? And
Right.
same thing
Yeah.
with microphones, man. Like they all kind of do the same thing. They just have their own way of doing it. So
Yeah.
if not only like basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to break down the barrier of fear of starting to being able to start. And that's it.
Just do
That's
it.
all I
Yep.
want, right?
Yeah. It's really like it looks complicated, but when you really think like get into it, it's gonna take some learning, of course, just with like everything. But it's not as complicated as you think.
No.
Like a mixing console where they have all these knobs. Like and when I was like years ago, I'd have looked at it and be like, dude, this looks like some alien tech. But then you always low, mid, highs, comp, whatever, volume, pan, knobs, and
Yeah.
then it's just the same thing, but for different, channels. It's like, damn, it's not really that hard when you like give it a chance. And you, people like you, are like what gave me the confidence to, okay, you know what? I'm gonna buy this because I believe in myself, because you made it look like I could do it. And I could, like, not to toot myself here, but I could. I was able to understand it and get it moving. I remember like you saying when you were talking about this one, I couldn't tell you what reaction it was. I'm gonna just be honest. It was so long ago, but you said a buddy let you borrow it or something. Because I think there was a time when you didn't even, I don't know if you owned it or not, but
Uh,
you're like, my buddy let me borrow this mic, and I was like, who's gonna just let you borrow microphones? That's crazy.
So I used to own a 7B and I bought it because I knew they were popular, but I never knew
Mm,
how to use it like for real. And then I
mhm,
sold it just like not thinking. And then later on in life for the YouTube thing, I bought this mic used. So a buddy of mine sent me home with it and he was like, try this, try that. And I was like, yeah, I like it. So I got it used for like a great price. So I was just,
mm.
it's been a staple ever since. And actually,
Yeah, yeah. No.
I take it to live shows now and I use it on like guitars or hi hats and like it's just
So
all
it's good
around
in a
wicked
live
mic.
setting, huh?
Yep. It's just, like it's so quiet, you have to gas the piss out of it. So I'll try to
Mm,
do it on a console where the preamps actually sound good. Cause like say like a
mhm.
Behringer X32 or like a Midas M32, which is basically the same thing. The preamp gain doesn't sound very good after about 32 dB. So this is not a great microphone for that. But on
Okay.
something like an Avid console or like an Allen and Heath or like some of these kind of like classier, quote unquote, digital consoles, they sound great. So
Yeah. See
yeah,
stuff like that. You taught me a lot, man, through listening to some of my favorite songs. Cause I watched your channel so much before I even started one. I'm like years ago. Like, cause it was Yeba's My Mind from So
nice.
Far or whatever it was.
Yeah.
When that was popping, I went to you. That's where I found Dom, that singer reaction.
Shout
Shout
out to
out to
Dom,
Dom. We
man, my
love
boy
Dom.
Dom.
Yeah, man. It's the craziest thing. I literally was telling my wife this like the day after we set this date for this. I was like, what's crazy is I literally remember it'd be 2 in the morning. I'd be laying in bed with my phone watching these people and just thinking like, wow, like Jesse knows so much, or Dom, wow, Dom's such a good singer. Never thought I'd even be having conversations with y'all. It's just it's cool, man. You guys are some cool people both on your channels and just out, just out and about,
Hey,
on the
man.
phone, whatever.
Appreciate
Cool
that.
people,
And
man.
likewise, bro. Like
Cool.
it's been great getting to become friends with you and getting to know you over the like I guess it's been probably about a year now.
About a year.
About a
Yeah.
year. Yeah,
About a
yeah, yeah.
year.
Yeah, no, that's dope, man.
Cool people.
You said you had like a couple questions for me.
Yeah. Essentially it's like, so I've come so on your channel, granted I haven't looked too much, but I've seen like turn on the radio, sound like a disco.
Yeah.
It's like I hear you sing and stuff, but like I don't know, and maybe you've said it, I'm just blanking, but like do you have your own music out and like where you're singing or anything like that?
Nope.
I'm like,
Nope.
dang, like I wish you had your own, your own stuff, because you got TikTok clips of you singing here and there, and I'm like, where's your music, man?
Yeah, I was deciding between like doing visual representations of the shit I'm talking about. So like if I'm
Mm,
talking about like a condenser microphone at 4 feet away and what that sounds like, I was thinking about just doing like here's me singing into a condenser microphone 4 feet away. But I found that the rehearsal time that it took for me to get performance ready was
mm,
far outweighing what it took for me to keep practiced in producing and mixing and everything, right?
mm,
So it became a priorities thing for me versus like I want to be a musician thing, because being a musician doesn't inspire me like at all.
mm.
Like I describe myself as a musician that plays the soundboard.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I do find that like it's like when folks are like, oh, like Jess plays guitar, I play a lot of instruments, not super well, but I can like I could fill in for a band on a weekend if I needed to. But that isn't what lights my fire. It's making a mix. It's getting a snare drum to hit the way I want it to. It's making a vocal delay happen the way I want it to. Like all that shit just like gets me going, bro. Like
So you're like I'd say you're like a painter of the music scene. So you like to just paint the song as opposed to be like the mascot of it, if that makes sense. So you
yeah,
you do like the mix downs and stuff more than you would like to basically have the spotlight in it, where you're the main voice or whatever. You just like in the behind the scenes stuff
yeah. And
and seeing the
to me
creation.
that's more than enough. Like I was, and I've been in bands like over the years. I've been in like cover bands and party bands, and I was in one original band, and like it was cool, and I had lots of incredible memories from that. I learned a ton from that. We gigged like crazy,
Mhm.
where like I actually put the live sound thing on the side because my band was playing so much, and it was dope. But then like when I got out of it, I didn't miss it.
Yeah,
Like
you're like, oh.
yeah, and like if I'm that desperate to get on stage, like this weekend I mixed a band in town here actually, and I got up and did 2 songs with them. So it's like great. Now I'm good for another couple years.
Mm.
Or my first show I did with Freeze the Fall, like I got up and did a song with them, and it was like great. Now I'm good for another couple years. Like,
Just get your fill in a little bit here and there.
yeah. So as long as
Okay.
I'm in music and I'm like, if I'm being true to my heart and like what I need to be happy and feel successful, it's something to do with
Mm.
mixing. Lately it's been lots of studio stuff. I've been getting back into live. The thing is like I've been in live audio for 18 almost 19 years now. So like it feels like it would be rude of me to put myself through just shelving that forever. However, my priority when it comes to learning is studio production.
Mm.
So I view like the long term of my life being like in a studio, mixing, recording, producing bands or artists, whatever. And I'll always have my experience as a live audio engineer to kind of back me up. But eventually
Mm.
I won't do that anymore either. Like I told Freeze the Fall, I was like, y'all are the last band I will ever mix, and I'll mix you until the day you don't want me to mix you anymore. But like I'm not gonna pursue the live thing as a full time thing. I've become more focused on this, right? So
Okay. Dang. I respect that. That's beautiful, man. I love the fact that you found, what it is that makes you happy with it all. And while it's not like the norm, the mainstream where everybody wants to be the big, whatever, you're just happy with what you got, and it's a great thing to be happy with, to be honest. I think your job would be a lot harder than mine would be when it comes to music. Like you say, songwriting and stuff is something that you've never really delved into, but honestly, I think the production and getting everything to sound correct, while it's once you learn it, but there's so many dynamics to it. It's so volatile, or if I use that word right,
yeah.
where it's like depending on the venue, depending on this, depending on that, there's a lot of dependence, right?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas songwriting, it's just like reach in, write something, and if you don't like it, you can always just change it because you're recording it.
Yep.
Whereas like if it's a live thing, yeah. So I think you're what you're doing is a lot harder, and the fact that you're able to do it so well, and it brings you actual like legitimate joy. That's a beautiful thing, and I respect that. I
No, I
respect that.
appreciate that, man. And it hasn't always been that way. Like I told you off camera earlier, like I used to be a dick. Like I was a certified douchebag, and I would have fought me if I'd have known myself from 10 years ago. Like today, me would have for sure punched myself in the nose 10 years ago. You know what I mean? Or 12 years ago. And I'm happy that I've gotten away from that because then now I can appreciate this gift that I have for what it is, not just like another day job or like something to
Yeah.
keep me away from my family type thing. Right. So,
Yep.
um, but you're right. Like there is kind of a blessing to the live music thing because it's like once the show's over, the show's over. Like there's no redo or try this, try that. Like it's
Mm.
you run and gun and you go home and you do the next thing the next day. And I like that. I appreciate that, but I'm excited to get into the studio where it's like, no, we're gonna get the take we need, right?
Yeah.
And I'll vibe with people like you where it's like I don't need it to be perfect. I need it to be right.
Hmm.
And there is a huge difference there, right?
There's yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Because like at the end of the day, for me, my songwriting, like I said, is essentially how does it make the person feel? And maybe I want to put off like a certain kind of feeling, melancholy, or maybe this is a more reflective song. Let's just get that vibe. However we achieve it, we achieve it. We tell the story how we tell it. Especially, I feel like if you're an artist that's going into a studio to work with a producer, you got to understand that sentence. You're working with a producer. You're not telling the producer what to do. Obviously, if you tell them, hey, this is where I'm going, they're going to listen to that, right? They're not going to be like, no, we're doing this. But you got to understand unless you're producing everything on your own, it's best to just vibe with the people that you're working with because that's how you're going to come out with the best song, honestly. That you and the other people in the room and hopefully everybody else is gonna vibe with. Just if you're all kind of like on the same page, understanding you just want to get a song done and just whatever comes of it comes of it.
Totally. And there is like a few arguments to be made to that. Like I wouldn't hire a producer that I didn't like wasn't a fan of, right?
Mm.
Someone might talk me into something, be like, "Hey man, like I heard your band on the weekend and like I think I would be a great fit." And I would work with them for like a day or I would listen to all their material that they've ever written and produced, whatever. And I might be like, "Yeah, this fits perfectly." Or I might be like, "This isn't my vibe," right? And then outside of that, like some producers or like songwriters, whatever, like you'll bring them an idea, you'll record all the guitar parts, you'll record all the vocals, your drummer, whoever plays all the drums. And when you come back, they've constructed a song for you and they say, here's your song. And it might not be like, say, in chronological order of how you recorded it. Like it might not be verse, chorus, chorus. It might be half a verse, pre-chorus, chorus, and they've gone and rearranged it all. But like, so if you like writing and having your hands in your music, great. If you don't, then someone like that might be great too. Like it's so much about like vibe, and you really gotta take the time to find someone that can work with your style and what you're looking for, right?
Yeah, it's just literally the biggest word here is just vibe, because that's all
Vibe,
music
yeah.
is.
Yep.
Is a vibe. You
Yep.
know, you got to be vibing,
Yep.
vibing.
Okay, so I have a question for you. And this is not
Okay.
something that like I uniquely came up with. A podcast that I listen to does this, and I think it's great. So, what is something in your studio that is not related to music or not directly related to music, but is in your studio and is never going to leave?
Not related to music, huh?
Not directly, like it's not an instrument or like a microphone, like you know what I mean?
But it's never gonna leave. Hmm. Damn. You know, probably my bearded dragon.
Oh yeah,
Well, I guess at some point, sadly, it'll leave. But yeah, we got a bearded dragon over here. Just you can't really see him in the frame, but he just chills. Her name's Spooky, and I'll catch myself while I'm streaming too, or like reacting to something. I'll just peek over there and get a little distracted. If anything, it's more of a distraction. But yeah, no, she just chills in there. She just hangs out.
nice.
Spooky.
That's cool. Where did the name Spooky come from?
Because when we first got her, I mean, this is kind of corny, but when we first got her, whenever you'd go to pick her up, like even just little bit of a touch, she jumps.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
oh, you're very spooky, aren't you? So we call her Spooky.
that's hilarious. Bearded dragon. I never knew that.
Yeah, yeah. She likes to hang out in this little palm tree. She's been there for like 2 days, just in that same spot.
Nice.
They don't eat a lot, so it's like it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, a couple flies here and there,
Yeah,
and
or like these little mealworms, dude.
oh,
Oh,
bro.
dude,
Yeah,
nah.
I feed those to my chickens as like a calcium snack, and it's just like, ugh.
It is disgusting, but you gotta do it. You gotta do it. You sign up for it. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
like, oh god. And sometimes she won't know they're in there because, like, I guess if they don't move, if it doesn't move, they have a hard time seeing it because their eyes
interesting.
are like, you know. So like, if she don't see it, it'll just stay there, and it's like, I gotta, yeah, dude.
Ugh. Yeah, no, thank you.
Of all things, mealworms, man. Ugh.
Yeah, no thanks. No thanks.
Ugh. I can ask you that question. Same question. What you got? What you got? Is it like you got like a home studio or something that's just kind of something sitting there?
This is like it's just for YouTube videos and recording music, this room. So I've got lots of like baffling and stuff around here that you can't see. There's lots in the corners. I have more, so like I wheel out this, it's basically just a big thick curtain that covers these black windows in the back when I'm recording
Mm.
like vocals in here. So it's like pretty retrofitted. Like if you grab a guitar, it's plugged in. If you grab a bass over here, it's plugged in. Both acoustic guitars are plugged in. Like you just grab it and start playing.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah, so it won't record into OBS, unfortunately, but like when I'm doing a session, it's just ready to go. Like it's all ready to go.
Yeah, yeah.
But my favorite thing that is in this room, and it is a little bit music related, but this was a gift from a longtime supporter named Elizabeth, and it's, let's see if I can get it in here. Trash the Dragon from 21 Pilots lore.
That's fire.
Yeah, and it's
Did they
just,
make that?
yeah, it's just little tiny. This is like
The
a, like
homie
you can actually
Trash.
order it from like the 21 Pilots site. It comes in like their little package or whatever. But yeah, it's just a little tiny trash. There he is.
That's so cool.
And
That's dope.
like for those of y'all that know the lore, you probably know the trash story better
Mm,
than I do. But it's like a representation of Tyler's creativity, right? It's
yeah.
this glorious, ginormous beast, and it's called trash because, like, you know, we always get that, right?
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
so it sits right here. It's right underneath my monitor, and it'll inspire me to like take chances on things. That's like what I've really noticed. Like I'll sit there and I'll just be
Mm,
like, man, like I don't know, this verse in a chorus, I can't make it jump enough. Like what am I gonna do to get there? And there's like your kind of staple things that you can do, but I'm like, let me do something like totally fucking goofy and just see what happens. And every once in a while, it's like, man, that kind of slams, right?
That's
So
kind of dope.
yeah.
Yeah.
So instead of being like, oh, I'll just do like another radio voice in the pre-chorus and then into the full chorus, or like double guitars in the chorus and then single guitars in the verse, like it's like, how can I get like real goofy about this? Like, let me just throw some garbage at the wind and see. And
Just throw trash out. Yeah. There
yeah,
you go. That's fire. What did you think of the Scaled and Icy album?
I love the Scaled and Icy album.
You
I
do?
do, yeah. Um, for a few reasons. It's a little bit more like kind of pop mainstream vibey,
Yeah.
which just like works on me. Like it's like advertisements. Ads work on me all the time, so I have to be really
Oh,
careful. So pop music, it just works.
yeah.
But I really like the like structures of the songs. I think that like top to bottom, it just like flows really nicely. I don't have to think too much about listening to it. But even if I do want to, then like there's shit to actually like think about. Yeah, I think it's a lot of fun.
I don't mind it too much. I'm more like the songs when he sings them live off that album because he has a few where like he does like some screams and stuff. Dude, Tyler Joseph's screams are like perfect. Like, have you heard Breach?
Oh yeah, bro, nuts.
That might be my one of my favorite albums from him. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yep.
City Walls, like that whole end bit when you hear that like what is it like a synth bass or whatever come in the boom boom boom. It's like oh dang,
That's so
they
cool.
snapped on that album.
Yeah.
They snapped on that album.
Yeah. Yeah. If you ever get the chance to see them live, bro, like for just two dudes performing to like 40 to 70,000 people, it is unbelievable how much control they have over that audience. Just two dudes.
Oh yeah, no, I've seen like their live stuff on YouTube. I've actually never been to a live show
Yeah, you got
ever,
to go.
like a concert or whatever. So people are saying, if you go to 21 Pilots, it's gonna ruin everything else for you. So I don't know, you might want to go to a few first. And I was like, well, dang.
It was probably the best when it comes to like that lane of music, like kind of that like pop punk rock, alt rock, like whatever. It's probably the best I've seen. And like I've
Mm.
seen Weezer, I've seen Blink, I've seen like all kinds of groups, bro, and they like like bar none took the cake. It was unbelievable.
That's fire.
Yeah,
That's fire. Yeah, no, I gotta get to some kind of concert or something soon at some point.
yeah.
I'm right next to the House of Blues too, so there's like
Oh,
no
bro,
reason.
we just got to jump in there. Just pop in there.
Yeah, there's no reason.
Just like
Um,
go ahead.
I was low key gonna ask you when's your next live stream?
That's a great question. So
I
I'll
used
be
to
honest,
love
man.
hanging in there.
If folks are still watching at an hour and 6 minutes, I'll be totally frank. I have I've dug myself into a place or backed myself into a corner where I have so many requests from Patreon and Buy Me a Coffee that I need to do, and I took like I for 3 or 4 years I was doing this full time, but like as
Mm.
things get harder and harder, and like a guy needs to live and pay bills and be a contributor to our family, I got a part time job in the summer for the first time in like 4 years, and it's just like with my dad, like helping him out with his business. But I put so much of my time and energy to that like when I came home, I was just spent. Like
Yeah.
I couldn't give the kind of reaction that I feel I need to put it out. Like there's a certain level of like that I like
You want some energy in there, you
yeah,
know?
and like I hold
Yeah.
myself to a standard against myself that if it doesn't reach that, I have a really hard time putting it out. So I really took like a lot. I tried not to take time away, but I was only filming like once or twice a week versus like six times
Mm.
a week. And so
Mm.
now I've got such a backlog of requests that I feel like it would be like in my heart, it feels too selfish to do a live stream, especially like if I'm asking for donations or anything like that. It's like I have
Mm.
people that have paid monthly and are still waiting for requests from like July that
Yeah.
I feel like I need to get caught up on that before I'm willing to go live. And that kind of channels my like anxiety too. So like it just makes me feel super anxious being
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna go online and then I'm gonna have to explain to all these people and I'm gonna have all these people like, hey, when are you gonna do this? Or hey, when are you gonna do that? And it's just like I need to get away from that to be in a place where I feel comfortable just going live. Even just like
No,
having
yeah,
coffee
that
online,
makes
bro.
total sense. Yeah, yeah. I guess that spark that sparks a good question here. And if it's too personal, you say whatever you want to do with it. But so I guess it's a multi-part question here. So first, there was a point in time when you were doing what YouTube full time, like that was your full time gig.
Yeah. So for 3 years I was full time, and then like I just recently, like now I will be. quote unquote full time again. So I worked in the summer with my dad just to help things along, and now that it's
Mhm.
wintertime, I'm like back full time on content. So
So full time, like define like a full, like, let's say not day in the life, but like day in a like a work day for you, like the whole well, won't even just say YouTube, we'll say content creation as a whole, like a work day for you. What would that look like? Like what would you say? And like how many days of the week or hours or whatever, you know what I mean?
yeah, so I typically work about 60 to 70 hours a week. Um,
On content, like just straight content?
just straight content, like of some
Okay.
variety or another. So like
Right.
I'm mixing two EPs right now. I recorded a acoustic duet at a beautiful church last week, and I'm just finishing up revisions of that. We recorded and filmed it, so I'm
Mm.
doing that. Um, I'm working on some like I've been mixing bands live, and we've been doing recordings of them live. So I'm also mixing their live performances. So from about like 5:36 in the morning till about like 9, I'll work on that stuff. Then I like take a break, make breakfast with my wife, and then I'll either do like tidying or cleaning. We got a foot of snow today, so I won't be outside like cleaning in the yard or anything. So then I would come back in here and either make thumbnails, video edits, and descriptions from the videos that I filmed the night before, or I will start filming almost immediately. So it's like usually 10:30, 11 that I start filming. I can only do about 5 or 6 before I start feeling my energy come down. So then I have to take a break. And if I'm really on it, I'll go and edit those videos and make the thumbnails right there. And then usually they like go onto Patreon and then like roll out on YouTube 3 at a time per day. Um, and then just rinse, repeat, man. Like either I'll be recording someone else or I'll practice. So like I work on mixing drums a lot. Like I'll just sit down with just
Mm.
drum files and just mix drums. Um, yeah, that takes me till like dinner time just about. So I do that 5, 6 days a week.
Dang. So that's like your well, I asked that question. I still have one more to build on it, but I asked that question because I've been doing full time youth, like just YouTube has been my full time thing for about a year now, about a year and a half or whatever. And I guess I was just seeing kind of how you do the recordings because I I do 3 request live streams a week, and then I do a live stream on Saturdays, which is normally like we're just gonna check out an album or whatever. And I was just kind of seeing, yeah, like how do you put the time? You know what I mean? Because you also do your mixing for music, right? So you have your YouTube and then you have your music. I was just seeing, yeah, seeing how you kind of like split your time because between the YouTube and the newborn, because I want to try and be as hands on with him as I can, especially since I work from home, right? Just kind of seeing the like where how you balance it all, um, I guess. 'Cause it's been like challenging trying to like figure out, okay, when is it okay to not record, or when is it okay to record, or this or that or the like, when, like, am I doing too many live shit? You're just trying to figure it all out, I guess, because like if this was like a normal job, you work at like a restaurant or something, your hours are set for you, right? You go in this time, you clock out this time, whereas here it's kind of like you kind of make up your own hours in a sense. So it's trying to balance that. How many is too many? How many is not enough?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I guess
So
yeah.
like if I could offer any advice, it would be like, yes, inspiration will help, but sometimes you have to force inspiration. So like after my second cup of coffee, I'm like, I'm ready to go. And yes, like there's caffeine coursing through my veins, but like I've just had a good meal. It's bright outside. Like everything is working in my favor to be like energetic and excited. I prefer filming at night because I think my studio looks better. Like I can use the lights and it like colors things nicely. And I don't have like, there's a big window right here. There's a window over here that's covered with a packing blanket right now. Back there's windows. So like I can never really escape the sun. Um,
Yeah.
but I have way more focus and like I feel like I can explain concepts better like early in the morning. So
Mm,
if I film for 2 hours, then like I have to go and do something else for I don't know 2 hours or whatever. But like if the 2 hours feels really good and I feel like I'm on a roll, then I'll go for three. Like why not? And if I don't feel great, then I'll just take a pause. I'll go do some dishes or go clean something outside or run around with my dog or something, right? Um, but the biggest thing is like set your plan today for tomorrow. And if you don't do that already, you'll really realize quickly like how much of a fire that starts. to be like, oh man, like especially if you can be excited about it. Like I'm gonna film 5 videos today, and then I'm gonna spend 2.5 hours with my kid just rolling around on the floor, and then I'm gonna cook this like wicked dinner for us. Like just saying that and putting that like on a piece of paper or in your phone as a reminder, like it gives you the inspiration you need to get that shit done, right?
I just yeah, I didn't I think that's a way better way of looking at it. Like I look at it it's like I'm like, okay, I need to record this tomorrow at what no matter what the cost is. And I think looking at it from like a urgency perspective makes maybe gives me a bit of anxiety or something about it. Whereas if I'm just like, here's the plan, this, and then right after this, and then this, knowing what's coming, looking forward to it, will just I feel like make it more seamless, I suppose.
Totally.
Like being communicative about it. Like, hey, to my wife, hey, at this time I'm gonna go in here, record till about this time, and then when I come out, we're gonna do this.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. We're all on the same page, and then kind of knock it out.
Well, and you owe it to your wife and your kid to give your all to what you say you're gonna do. Like if you're just
Mm,
like, hey, I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna do some work tomorrow, and I'm gonna play a little music tomorrow and some games, and I'll hang out with the kid. Like that's pretty half-assed, right? But if it's like I'm gonna go be my best self in my studio from this time to this time, and then from this time and this time, I got you. You go do what you want to do. If you want to hang out with me, great. But if you want to do what you're gonna do, go ahead. Like I'm committing to you and your audience and everyone that like you're gonna get my best for the time allotted, and I'm gonna continue to give my best, right?
that's beautiful. Wow. That is beautiful. Honestly, that holds so much weight coming from you because you've been doing it full time longer than me. And again, like I, not to sound corny, I look up to you and people like Dom and Wolf, that have been able to make this work because this being a full time thing, not guaranteed at all.
hundred
You know what I
percent.
mean?
Yeah.
It's not like clock into wherever here, clock out. Like it's not. It's you gotta like not necessarily like hope, but it's more or less like you got to keep at it because if you get lazy, if you slip up, it's gonna the numbers, whatever it may be for you, it's gonna affect that. And I guess that rolls into the final part of the question was like, and you don't have to answer this if you don't want to, by the way. What made you have to or want to shift to not full time and then back? Like, what was the roadblock there that you were like, okay, I gotta switch things up or something, or do a little change here?
Yeah, great question, man. As everyone has seen, because a lot of like content creators have been really vocal about it,
Mm,
reactions aren't what they were 4 years ago,
mm,
and from what I hear, they aren't what they were 8 years ago, and et cetera. Right? It's getting harder and harder, and I'm very proud of the content that I make. Like, yes, I understand the argument for like, oh, like reacting, you're just taking someone else's music and it's searchable and clickable, blah, 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 blah. But like, I'm really trying to give my experience on something and trying to help someone either appreciate their favorite song or artist more or understand that they can do a lot of these things too, right? Like
learn something.
we're not
Yep.
all Bruno Mars, but like we can all record a song if we're in music and stuff. Like it's not that
Mm,
scary is what I'm trying to convince people of, right? Um,
mm,
so that was my main driving point. It felt like fairly niche. Like I didn't know many other reactors that were doing like that. Like there's some people that go way further into detail than I do. And that's dope, man. Like I would love to like do a lot of that too. But like I have fun with the content that I make, right? Um,
yeah.
so it did really well for me for a long time. It didn't like when it comes to like like the business model of it, it wouldn't have paid to replace my last job that I had, but I was so fucking miserable, bro. Like
Yeah.
I was a spiral, like just of impending doom just waiting to happen. I was having panic attacks, I was medicated, I was seeing a therapist, like it was awful, like awful,
Mm,
awful, awful. And
mm,
so when I got to a point where I was like, well, like if I cut back on a few like kind of frivolous things, I can make this work. And I talked to my like girlfriend at the time, fiance, wife, and she was like, yeah, like if it makes you happy, then great. And she sat me down one day. She was like, you're like the person I want to be in love with. You're not just like the person in my life anymore. It's like you're the person I want to be in love with. And I was like, that's reason enough. Like
yeah.
excellent. So I just chased that. Like it was, I'm very blessed to have had success in it for as long as I did. Um, as it got harder and harder to get like videos get blocked, like unless it's like a friend that's an indie artist or something like that, like it's getting caught like demonetized and all that stuff. So it's
Oh yeah.
tough, and it's not all about Like people will be like, "Oh, you just do it for the money, bro." I've got 90% of my videos didn't pay me a penny.
99%.
Yeah,
Let's be real.
yeah.
99%. Yeah. Yeah.
So, when it got to a point where it was like, okay, like now I'm starting to fall behind, like I can't contribute in the way that I expect myself to, and we're trying to buy our acreage here. It was like I have to do something to be able to contribute more. And fortunately, my dad owns like a small landscaping business. He usually needs help with, so like there was enough work there. Um, and like the hard part is, as I was kind of alluding to earlier, is just like I just burn myself out. Like I give it my all for 12, 13, 14 hours a day. And then like I have a hard time saying no to things, especially when I feel like anxious or behind. So now I'm working like 6, 7 days straight at like 12 through 14 hours a day. And my part-time job becomes like a job and a half very quickly. And then I
Yeah.
push this to the side and I feel guilty about it and it makes me anxious. And then so I'm trying to ease my way back into the full-time YouTube thing. I do have like some runway like saved up and my fiance helps and like everything. Like it's a team effort. But I'm trying not to just like throw myself to the wolves, burn myself out of the YouTube thing and then fall away from it again. Like I'm trying to like
Yeah.
inchworm my way back in, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you got to find that with anything, even not even just you, like any job. There's like a balance. There's what we kind of. I feel like that's the theme for this whole podcast here. We've been talking about is just balance. Everything is just balance, honestly, in life. Like jobs, hobbies, whatever.
Yeah,
You got to find the
relationships,
right
everything.
balance. Relation. Yeah, you can burn yourself out on anything.
Yep.
So, um, it's just one of those. It's like the more you put into it, the more you'll get out. But also, the more you put into it, the more time you're gonna lose just being like kind of having nothing on your plate, right? Which is a good thing and a bad thing. You need days where you're just kind of resetting, right? Where you are just hanging with the fiance or wife or whatever on the couch watching. You need that because this job I've been saying since doing it is like, it's definitely not physically exerting at all in the slightest. We're just sitting here listening to some music, talking about it. But especially the live streams, I'll say too, it mentally it does have a fatigue on you. Like if you're sitting there for 3-4 hours or whatever, you have a light in your face, camera on you, a chat full of people you're trying to attend to, and then music you're trying to lock into, and everything, you're just in the spotlight. After so long, your brain's kind of like, all right, bro, like I need to just stare at a wall for a minute.
Yeah.
So yeah, finding a balance there is super important, and it's super easy to burn yourself out on this and anything. So no, I respect that. I respect that a lot. I respect that a lot.
No, I appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
Okay, bro. I think it's about time to call it here. Is there anything else you'd like to say to the folks at home before I let you go?
Uh, Honestly, the main thing I'd say is you know, music. If you're at all infatuated with it, give it a shot. It's so readily available for you, even if it's something you don't even ever put to the public. It's honestly therapeutic in a sense. So, they have stuff on your phone, as we talked about earlier. There's be a little laptop sitting around. They got plenty of free like programs, plugins. Give it a shot. YouTube is going to be your best friend. It is how I learned everything I learned, and it's free. So just give it a shot, man. Just go for it. You never know.
You
You
never
never
know.
know.
Great words, man. I appreciate you taking the time to hang out with us.
Of course. Thanks for having me, brother.
Obviously, if you need anything, reach out. You know how to get a hold of me. And
Yes, sir.
I'm going to keep you here for a minute, but y'all at home, have a good night.
Peace.